want a microphone. Morning. I just want a microphone. Morning. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love, accepting that you're real precious. You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, 'cause I get a lot of
Good morning, viewers. It's 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show. We're coming to you live here from the Port Mall in Scarborough, giving thanks for life. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Ria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning, Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning, Julian.
Good morning, Ria. How are you doing?
Rested. I feel good this morning. I feel really good this morning. I think we had a very long week last week. We had a heavy week last week, but I'm thankful that it's Monday morning. And yes, we're raring to go.
Yes, excited at that, Ria. We've got an interesting week up ahead, and this morning in the lineup we get started with Assemblyman Joel Sampson, or is it safe to say Joel Nutsy Sampson?
We've got to keep the Nutsy there, okay, and as well with Assemblyman Wayne Clark, we need to keep the
wasp in the mix.
We need to keep the wasp in the
so
mix.
This morning we chat with Assemblyman Joel Sampson, Assistant Secretary in the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, as well as Deputy Presiding Officer in the Tobago House of Assembly. So we'll be chatting with him this morning on his division, a number of areas being treated with, and certainly a number of priority areas under the Division of Infrastructure. So we're looking forward to some updates this morning in our discussion. And who else do we have on the lineup, Ria?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, Julian. Coming up just after, we are going to be chatting with Cheryl Gemot, who is the owner and manager of Cheryl's Delight. And she's going to tell us more about how to make cassava flour. As you know, the increase in prices of flour has caused persons to look outside of flour for their starches. So persons are looking for alternative means of acquiring their starches. So we're looking at cassava bread, dasheen bread, Edo bread, and etc.
So it's the kind of interview where you want to have your notebook out in case you want to try something from home this morning. And this morning we wrap with Shanaria Taylor, Managing Director of Renlim Entertainment. And she's here to speak. She'll be here to speak to us about the charity and the brunchorama. That is, so we look forward to that segment later on this morning with Shanaria Taylor. Ria, what's been happening in the Tobago space?
Well, Julian, we have got lots happening. We look at Carnival coming up in February, around February, and the Tobago stakeholders are saying Carnival safe zone is unfair because it means that unvaccinated band leaders would not be able to take part in any of the activities or festivities, as they would say. So they are calling for interest groups, or interest groups rather, are supposed to be meeting with Secretary Boris this morning to have an idea on the way forward. You know what plans can be adjusted to accommodate all.
Well, Rian, we also saw on Saturday Tobago facing the challenge of a bomb threat. And I think my understanding it was via the vessel within the Scarborough area. And it was interesting to note how efforts were being made immediately to clear out the entire Scarborough area. You couldn't enter from uptown, you couldn't enter from downtown area, you can't enter from the highway in an effort to really clear Scarborough. And, you know, I'm thankful that to this point we have had no kinds of situations, because really immediately when I heard of it, it took me back to the time where we had bombs going off in dustbins within Port of Spain.
Yes.
And you know, it became an uneasy thing to walk anywhere near to a dustbin accordingly. And you know, we're seeing some footage there in Scarborough, you know, and more importantly, I was on the highway side during the time when you could not go through Scarborough, and the traffic on the highway, wow, I said, thank God we have a greater road network now in Tobago. I couldn't imagine the highway still being that, you know, that one main way to go through. But more than that, there was a bit of confusion and challenge even for pedestrians who would travel normally.
Right.
Because you saw people at different points of the highway waiting to get home. And obviously, the question is, where exactly do I get a car? I saw some people coming out, that's by the traffic light there, in that area, in the vicinity of going across to Glen Road side, across there, that traffic light, and walking all the way up to Rockley Vale corner. I suppose that would be persons who were probably trying to get transport, you know, to go north side or so. So that was an interesting situation that would have transpired, and probably really it speaks to the need for us to have what is an alternative plan in place in circumstances like these, because we traditionally experience this block off every year for the carnival season.
Right.
When carnival happens, and you know, we have to use the highway, so to speak, to allow the festivities. So it might be something to look at.
So why we do not have a city gate, maybe some type of hub on the outskirts of Scarborough for taxis and maxis, so persons who are unable to access transportation from within Scarborough can do so on the outskirts.
Correct.
But Julian, one of the things that I noticed on Saturday as well, Saturday afternoon, with regards to the bomb scare at the port.
Where were you in Scarborough at the time, or leaving Scarborough at that time?
No, at that hour, no, honey. I was at home. I was at home. I was safely at home. But I'm concerned about the distance of the muster point. God forbid anything had happened and there had been an explosion. I just figured, somehow I feel that the muster point is a little bit too close to the port itself. Not that we have any extra space to accommodate, but I'm just saying here, my concern is persons who were at the muster point could easily be injured, if, should it have gone the other way.
Yeah, well, I suspect we are hitting the nail on the head this morning, because this speaks to the greater plan for Scarborough, and I suspect the secretary might be tuned in, or the assistant secretary might be close enough to be hearing our voices this morning in the conversation as we speak to that plan for the development of Scarborough. So we're really looking forward, ultimately to seeing, as I said, thank God for no fatalities under the circumstances. Ria, we have any birthdays this morning?
We actually do, and we're getting ready to go into that segment. So happy birthday going out to Alicia Roberts Patterson, celebrating her birthday, and Melondi Sebro. Happy birthday going out to you. So have a great day, and love to you from the Tobago Updates family.
All right. I also want to send a birthday shout out this morning to my cousin Kershaw Connor Cowan. Good morning, Kershaw, and wishing you a happy birthday. Trust that you have an enjoyable day. I'm sure that Kurt has all the plans in place for you and the entire family, so we know that you're going to have an enjoyable day. And sending a birthday shout out as well yesterday to Melissa Benjamin. Happy birthday to you out there in Suriname. And I know you're tuned in this morning. Wishing you a very happy birthday coming from the Tobago Updates family. Trust that you had an enjoyable day and will continue to enjoy that birthday into the week.
All right. So that's just about it for us.
All right. So viewers, at this point, we really want to continue to thank each and every one of you joining us on the live. Thank you for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. And we just want to remind you, yes, Ria, we are seeing Dee Vincent on the live, Stephanie Kajo on the live, Akisha Hazel, QQ Melville, Toysy Jones, all connected with us this morning. June Abraham, Maud Lord. Good morning to each and every one of you. Liesel James, morning. All right, so folks, we want to remind you to continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards to our
Welcome
top
to Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
and remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides, marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the Roxborough Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
at the treasures like the Golden
Waterfall
Waterfall
rise in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, morning. Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting this morning with Assemblyman Joel Musputindenatsi Sampson, and he is the Assistant Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development with responsibility for URP. Good morning and welcome to Assemblyman Natsi Sampson.
Good morning, Ria. How are you this morning?
I am doing very well. You know, Assemblyman, it seems as though you have been branded as the assemblyman within the PDP who appeals more to the younger, I could say younger generation, but more so to the younger females. Why is that? It seems as though when the younger females hear Assemblyman Joel Natsi Sampson, something happens.
Well, to be honest, Ria, I'm not sure how to answer that one. I'm not sure why.
You're not sure why?
Uproar, but
okay.
Whatever it is, it's probably a good thing for the party. It garners support, so that's a good thing.
Okay. If you say so. Okay, if you say so. Now, it's really good to have you on the program. Just give us a quick idea of how things have been with your transition into politics.
Well, it's been good thus far, yeah. It hasn't been that bad, you know. Once you have a passion for serving people and doing good, it's an easy transition. I have found it going easy thus far.
Okay, happy to hear. Now, during the campaign trail, Assemblyman, you made mention, I want to jump right in here, you made mention of you gave promises to return trade schools. And I want to ask you about that, the need for trade schools in the Tobago sphere. How soon and what skills would you look at trade schools should you go that way?
In the interim, we're looking probably by close to the end of the year, you know. We have to bring back that trade system because it has benefited a lot of Tobagonians, young Tobagonians. I even was a beneficiary of the trade centers. So, you know, we have to look into that, you know, bringing back the plumbing sector, the masonry, carpentry, and then we could add to it. You know, we could bring in the technological part of it. So, you know, we have phone repairs, electronics, electrical and stuff like that. So the sooner we can get that going, it will be better for young Tobagonians.
All right, now coming out of the retreat just a few weeks ago, what would you say was the highlight for you?
I think the highlight of the retreat was the etiquette part with Miss Dorset. That was really interesting, you know. There are some things you thought that you may have known and you did not know. And she taught you the correct way and the correct procedure in doing certain things. So that was my highlight, you know, and it was entertaining as well.
How so?
Because she made the topics very fun. So it's not like you were just there listening, you know, you had laughs and stuff like that while learning. So that was good.
Okay. With regards the way forward for your division, what were some of the key areas that that you believe need to be focused or zoned in on at this point?
Well, there are quite a number of areas that need to be zoned in on because, you know, I think the division has a lot of potential. And once we restructure it in a way where persons are aligned to their correct capacity, we can have that, you know. So it's like, for instance, you can't take an electrical engineer and place him in the plumbing sector. You will have problems. So you align persons to their respectful skill set and qualifications, and that is how the division will move forward in a better way.
All right, let's talk a little bit about, you know, the restructuring of URP. URP falls within your purview, yes?
Yes, it does.
All right. We are looking now at, I mean, there have been talk, you know, within the last few years of URP doing more than just painting stones and planting pretty flowers. How can your division use URP or utilize the personnel to create food? We're talking food this morning. How?
So that idea, that concept that URP was just used to plant flowers and paint stones, that's a totally wrong concept. I had that concept from on the outside, but being there now, URP does so much more than just that. They are involved in developmental projects as well. So they do drain infrastructure and all these things. In terms of food, we know that we are going through a pandemic at the moment, so food productivity is very important. It's a critical area I'm looking at. Currently, I'm on the drawing board in a process where we are looking to improve the division and improve the URP. So, you know, I have proposals of a rebrand. So instead of URP, we call it a Sustainable Developmental Program. So in this way, you know, that persons can improve their lives, improve their skill set, and also assist where food development is concerned in Tobago. So, you know, we will do a larger scale of agriculture, set up systems in the east, the west, and on the north side so that we can be sustainable here in Tobago.
And do you think there's an opportunity for you know, planting for providing provision for an alternative means of flour? I know a lot of persons now are looking at, you know, cassava, dasheen, but the amount, what we produce is very limited.
So, you know, I propose that we do it on a larger scale. So, you know, in the event of the worst case scenario, we can provide here for our island in the event that things shut down and we can't bring anything into the country. So, you know, cassava is very important. You know, it was used majority back in the days.
But can it be used, can it be done through URP?
Yes, it could be done through URP. That's why we are setting up all these programs. We have a lot that we have set up, and we will roll out those plans in the very near future. And I'm excited about it. Persons who we are planning with are excited about it. So Tobago would be excited about it when that plan rolls out.
Okay. And what would you say, because, I mean, coming out of the retreat, in terms of, and I asked you earlier, what was the highlight for you, apart from the etiquette? What areas in terms of the first quarter, the rollout of the first projects for the first quarter, would you say is a highlight for you?
All right. Well, it's simple, you know, because we have some low-hanging fruits we want to get rolled out within that first quarter. And it's obvious. I'm the area representative for Bonaccord and Crown Point. And that entrance to Pigeon Point, it's one of the areas we intend to deal with in the first quarter. So I'm excited about that because it will bring some relief to residents and tourists because, you know, we are opening up bit by bit. We have flights coming back from Europe, tourists arriving here. The beaches are open till 2 currently, so, you know, that will bring some relief. So I'm excited about that and getting that off the ground within the first quarter.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to leave it there for this time, but Julian is coming up with you just after this. So viewers, we continue to encourage you this morning to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning, Tobago. This is the Tobago Update Show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And this morning, I want to take the time out just before we continue with this segment with Assemblyman Joel Sampson to give shout out. I am seeing on the live this morning, Jimmy Sylvester. Are you there? Have you arrived as yet? Kashika Small, we see you on the live. Aliyah Holder, we see you on the live as well this morning. Of course, coming on to hear the issues and concerns coming here from Assemblyman Joel Sampson. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Julian.
And I can't forget at all my very good friend Delia. Yes, I know you're sitting in front of your TV saying so because he ain't seen me on the live. Morning, Delia. All right. So as we continue this morning's conversation, one of the first areas we want to touch on, just a few weeks ago, the Attorney General would have called you out by name, saying Joel Sampson is one of those persons who continues to receive a remuneration and so on within the Tobago House of Assembly from his substantive employment, even prior to becoming an assemblyman, and he continues to be involved in that. What's your response? Any clarity you want to bring to the Tobago public?
Well, Julian, that's a subject matter I wish not to comment much on about, because I know what I know. But it clearly shows that the Attorney General doesn't know anything about the daily rated collective agreement at the Water and Sewage Authority. So I would have done what was needed to be done before the election and after to ensure that I am in this position where I am. So.
All right, excellent. So bringing some clarity there for us. One of the other areas that we want to touch on, and we're going to as early as this weekend, and you know, in the Tobago space, when you're as popular as you and the Chief Secretary are, people pinpoint everywhere that you all are. So we understand that there were some visits to the in terms of on the eastern side of the island this weekend, looking at projections and plans in relation to Little Tobago and other areas. You think you could give us a little sneak peek into that site visit over the course of the weekend?
All right, that visit was an interesting one, you know. To be honest, it's the first time I have ever visited Little Tobago. And we have hidden treasures and hidden beauty here in Tobago. So, you know, at that space, we intend to revamp the jetty area so that the reef boat operators who access the island can have some way accessible for tourists to come off in some comfort and style so that they can access it. Also, that area needs a bit of revamping and cleaning up so that persons can enjoy the true beauty of it when they visit that area.
All right. Tell us about plans and projections also. You happen to be in an area where there would have been serious contention, particularly with residents who had to be moved and shifted in terms of the airport expansion project and that kind of thing. Have you been able to follow up actively with those residents in terms of them being able to settle? I know some still had some outstanding concerns and so on within that Bonaccord, Crown Point area.
Well, I have been in contact with most of them, we contact on a regular basis. I have intentions of keeping a general meeting in the coming weeks with all residents that were affected by that project. As we know, there are some outstanding negotiations still on the table. There are residents who are still located there. So, I intend to reach with them and treat with the issue. Because a comfortable residence is a comfortable Tobago. So,
well
what affects one affects all.
All right. The other area we want to touch on quickly this morning, I think it was just about last week or so, we see that you would have joined a contingent. This is in your other capacity now, as Deputy Presiding Officer in terms of heading across to the Parliament and so on. Just give us a little insight into that in terms of what your experience would have been like, because you get to see it from the side of an Assistant Secretary and Assemblyman, but as well in terms of the legislative side as Deputy Presiding Officer.
Well, Julian, that was an experience of a lifetime. That is how I can mention it. Oftentimes you look at the Parliament channel and say, this looks good. But when you're actually in the hot seat, when you are there in person and getting that live experience, it's an amazing experience. It's an experience I would like each and every Tobagonian to be afforded, so they can really get a true appreciation of what goes on and how persons, go about trying to ensure that we are at a better state in the country. So it's an experience I would enjoy. I enjoyed and would love for each and every Tobagonian to be afforded.
All right. The other area we want to touch on, Assemblyman Joel, is looking specifically at how do you have that balance? So like a lot of people say, they're able to reach out to Nutsi and they can get him within a reasonable kind of time frame. How do you manage that balance between still able to remain very active within your electoral district and at the same time simultaneously working along with a division that definitely is going to have a greater kind of demand?
Well, Julian, firstly, I always let God lead my steps, Each morning before I head out, I pray and ask him to guide me through this day. Wherever he may want me to go, there is where I will go. So, it's been easy, I've made a pledge to my electoral district that I will remain active, I will be amongst them, and it has been easy, At the division, the staff has been very helpful thus far, so my job hasn't been that hard. Some people might think it's a hard task, but communication is the key wherever you may go, and that will set the path easy for you.
All right, excellent. And one of the other areas, over the course of the weekend or into last week, we saw some news breaking in your division. We've not yet seen an official release come out, but if you have the Assistant Secretary on, you ought to get a little insight. Is there anything you can share to us in relation to the matter that just would have arose where they're indicating that staff who, of course, sent home, you saw a letter, a document coming out in the media through the Office of the Administrator, in relation to staff at the Division of Infrastructure, in terms of that they were no longer required, their services were no longer required. You can give us any insight or information on that?
Well, insight to that, I may not be able to give you the answer that you require. But what I can say is that whatever has transpired, that would have been above me. So I will get more information on that this morning, as it would have happened over the weekend. So probably maybe the next time that I'm here, I could give you more details on that.
All right, good. And I hope Tobago Updates will get the first connect in terms of what's coming out of that situation.
Most definitely.
Right. Tell us what are some of what you describe as at least one of the major things you hope to achieve within your electoral district of Bonaccord, Crown Point, within this term in office.
All right. Well, there are quite a number of things that I want to achieve, but there are two things in particular that I would like to see happen, because it's been there for years. The problem continues to persist. One, that's the issue of flooding within the area, especially at that Cocoa Reef area. When it's flooded out, it's dangerous for motorists and the public. Also, that strip we call the Avenue in Crown Point, I would like to have it revamped and revitalized. There are too many eyesores there. And if we are a developing country and we are a tourist attraction, it must be made clean, green, and serene, as we often boast of Tobago. So those are two areas that I intend to work on that we need to get eradicated as soon as possible.
All right. In terms of being able to connect with you through your electoral district, where is your electoral district office located? Just to give our viewers some additional information, because we know a number of the assemblymen have either already opened their office or in the process of dealing with the opening of their electoral district office.
All right. Well, my office is at Milford Plaza, Crown Point. All right. That's just after Rainbow Resort on your right-hand side. It's upstairs. It's the second to last cubicle on your right. My office days are Tuesday, 10 to 5, where I connect with the community so persons can come in and have a one-on-one chat with me. On Fridays, where I intend to do the roving days, so I'll be roving throughout the community, reaching with persons door to door. And then the office is open from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So persons can come in, they can connect with me. It's not a problem. I'm always reachable, I'm always accessible, because I made a promise in the interim, and that's what I continue to do and will do for the next 4 years.
All right. As we prepare to wrap this morning's interview, I know that your focal area, as we would have started off touching on, is treating with URP and so on. What can we look forward to progressively in terms of projects and so on, and the efforts of these staff and persons coming out of URP? And when I speak to that, I speak to the direct contribution to building out our tourism product, because I saw you being able to speak with a sense of pride and joy when we had the first flight coming in, and of course as the man responsible for Bonaccord Crown Point. So how do you see URP playing that greater role in terms of taking that pride and joy for our community, our species and so on within Tobago?
Well, actually, Julian, as I told Rhea, we are in the planning stages of it that we will roll out soon, but the URP will play a major part where tourism is concerned. We have events and activities that we are planning at the moment to ensure that they are within the space that they are able to contribute majorly to Tobago tourism and other products as well. So as soon as these plans are rolled out, Tobago Updates will surely be the first to get them.
And I couldn't go before slipping in. We had Assemblyman Sonny Craig on last Friday, and you know, one of the areas that we would have spoken to, which also connects with your area, is about the reef tour operators and so on, being able to be back out there and to benefit from their trade and that kind of thing. What's your thoughts towards that as the Assemblyman with responsibility for Bonaccord Crown Point, knowing fully well that's one of our major tourism hubs, as well as heading out in terms of going to do reef tours and so on through Storby and that kind of thing?
Well, I'm truly elated about that, Julian, because, you know, most of these entrepreneurs thrive on a booming tourism sector. So with the island opening back up, flights coming in back from the UK, these are these fellas' means of survival. This is how they make their resources. So I am happy that this initiative has restarted, because it's been a rough past couple of years for them, you know, not being able to go out and ply their trade so that they can provide for their families. So this is something that I'm very excited about, and I'm happy that they are back on there.
And one of my messages coming in is, please, Assemblyman Joel Sampson, I trust that we will see no more signs for the Bonaccord Crown Point area. But I would let you close on the note. Final 30 seconds. What do you want to say to your constituents and those viewing out there that continue to look forward to you being able to deliver?
Well, firstly, to my constituents, I want to say thank you again for affording me the opportunity to represent you. I do ensure that I will do my best to make sure that you are comfortable at the end of the day. To the persons at the division, we will continue to work along with each other, ensuring that we move it to a bigger and better place. So thank you again, Tobago. Thank you again, Tobago Updates, for having me this morning.
All right. And it's probably a good opportunity to also speak to condolences at this time, going out to well-established public service. I want to say she has certainly left a legacy. Gloria Carrington, coming out of, I think it's originally Charlottesville, and now settling within your area. So we want to send out condolences also from the Tobago Updates family to the family of Gloria Carrington. We would have heard of her passing over the course of the weekend. And I know the Assemblyman might want to just share his own condolences as well.
Yes, so condolences going out to the Carrington family and the passing of Miss Gloria Carrington. She was a wonderful individual. She has left us all in shock, but we have been glad for the time that she was here and the time that she had served. You know, we had quite a close connection. I was her personal plumber, and we would always sit and have conversations for hours. So, you know, it's a sad time for me, and I hope that the family will stay strong and continue to seek solace in the Most High.
All right, viewers, and if you know Mrs. Gloria Moore Carrington any at all, it didn't matter what field you met her in, she made sure that she gave that sense of direction and support, especially younger persons moving forward. So as we close this morning's segment, I think I will close appropriately on the words of Giselle Donaldson Yates. Great interview, Joel Bless Sampson. All right, thank you very much, Assemblyman Joel Sampson, for joining us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. We are seeing each and every one of you. We want to thank those of you joining us via Gael, those of you joining us via M&E TV. We want to remind you as well that we're also live on TobagoUpdates.com, and to remind you to connect via our YouTube page. We invite you to subscribe to Tobago Updates, and for those of you on the live, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards.
Welcome to Tobago Updates Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
And remains. When
The public is
nobody lives here.
Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides, marine
and Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the island.
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall.
rise in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Jackson for Tobago Updates, and I am coming to you live from Concordia in the kitchen of Miss Cheryl of Cheryl Delights. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Candice.
And it's so lovely to have you on this morning.
You're welcome.
So I know you are wondering, why am I in her kitchen? So as you know that from a couple weeks ago, we had prices raising for wheat flour and so on. That is making it difficult now for persons all around the country. We have to now adjust to the new prices, and it's left a lot of people wondering, can we make flour ourselves? Because as you know, flour comes from the US and Canada and other colder climates where they are able to plant a lot of wheat and barley and a lot of these other products. However, yes, you can make your own flour here, and it comes from cassava. Isn't that right, Cheryl?
Yes.
Cassava is just one of the things that you can make flour from.
Yes. Several other provision and you can get it from potato, yam, plantain, whatever wish you choose to palatable of.
Great. But Miss Cheryl is an expert. I would say she's an expert when it comes to cassava flour to be exact, right? So walk me through, I would like you to walk us through the process of how you go about making cassava flour.
Okay, well here I have some cassava on peel and peel.
Right. So folks, if you don't know what a cassava looks like, this is a cassava.
Right, and this is the peel one here. Whereas to get the flour, we all use the grater. We all use the grater like this. This is just a demonstration. The grater, and from this mash you will get this product which is called the mash. From the mash You have to extract the water, and it will give you this flour. I will just put my fingers and show you how it falling, like little snow.
How do you get the water out of the mash?
You will have to extract the water by squeezing it with a brown cotton cloth, and that water from the mash, it will settle into a bowl and it will give you starch, and from that starch you will get the product called starch cake. Now from this extract mash, this snow looking flour, it will give you farine, it will give you pone, it can give you cuckoo, it can give you bread, it can give you cake. You can get several products out of this product. And from this flour, you also getting the farine, lovely farine here.
Right. So now after you get to this stage, there's another stage where you get to dry out the flour.
Yes, out of this stage, you can dry out this flour into the hydrator.
Yes.
Right, and then you blend it. I didn't have any right now, but it have some in the hydrator drying. You blend it, and or you will get the cassava flour. From this cassava flour, you can make several other niche products from the cassava flour, which you can have the pista, you can have your bread also, you can have the same cake also, but the cake you will have in a different texture with the flour and this flour. You're getting two different texture.
Right. So how you have a little something on your stove, and viewers, it smells absolutely lovely.
Okay.
Could you tell me about what's on your stove?
Okay.
And how do you get from this to on your stove?
From this same snowy looking falling snow flour, because it's a little grainy, you also get the cassava flatbread.
And how do you go about making this flatbread?
Well, this cassava flatbread made from the same flour. You add a little coconut, a little sugar and salt. You mix that up together and you place it on this plating, and the circumference to give you a neat circle, and it bake.
And what can you eat this bread with?
You can eat this bread with saltfish, fry fish, whatever you choose to enjoy it with. Welcome. You're welcome.
All right. So I know sometimes that ground provision flour is perhaps a little bit tough to work with at times, right? So there you may have to mix it with regular flour. Tell me about how do you know when do you have to mix it, or how do you know how do you use it compared to regular flour?
Okay. The flour that goes in the hydrator, you will have to put 1 cup of white wheat flour to half a cup of the cassava flour, and to mix that. That is what I did to give you the pista dough.
Right.
Along with the teaspoon of yeast, a little butter, a little sugar, and salt to taste, and there you have your pista dough.
How did you come up with this? How did you get started into using cassava flour?
Okay, I started using cassava flour and cassava on the whole. Agriculture had brought out utilization dishes, and I choose to use cassava. We had also use any kind of provision to do this work, and I choose to use cassava, whereas my parents always make farine years hand down onto me, and there is where I use cassava and go into different products. I do trials. I have trials and errors, and I sit one day and I was just nodding, and I didn't know my husband was standing in front of me, and he asked me what I dream. I said, I'm not going to see until I get it done. And I just see I was just creating a cassava cuchilla. And I come and I make the cassava cuchilla, and I was like happy. And I just create different products and get.
What are some of your favorite products that you have been able to create from the cassava?
My favorite product is the pizza and the quiche.
And how long did it take you to be able to figure out what is the right ingredients and the consistency?
It did not take me no time, because I love to create different things, just create different things, and because of that I have a taste that I'm always looking for in certain products, that it didn't take me no time to do nothing at all. Anything I put my hands to, like it was there before.
Have you been able to teach people about how to make the flour and go through the process?
Yes, I am doing that. Presently, I am doing it at people's homes, under community development at the centers. I also teach.
Right. And when you introduce your methods to persons, what are their reactions towards it?
It's like, wow, ancestors. That's what they do, ancestors.
Right. And then what was it? You've been able to take part in a number of competitions, and then we see here she has a lot of these. I don't know if you could see the camera. A lot of these signs of some previous dishes that she made for competitions. Tell me about the process in figuring out these different types of dishes from the cassava.
Well, figuring it out is like. It's like my eyes walk to the sky, and it just comes naturally. It just comes naturally. Like, for instance, when I have done this, I did not know I could have come up with the idea to make animal feed from cassava.
Wow. And you've been able to sell this, and...
Well, I didn't really sell it. I make sure the animals eat it and they enjoy it. Enjoy it.
And then, I don't know, folks as well, you also make sure that your cassava is homegrown.
Yeah.
So tell me about that process.
Well, everything is hard work, right? Being into these products is come out of agriculture, right? Because I'm started agriculture in a big way, and I realized that it's having a lot of wastage, and because of the wastage I start to put things in place by, instead of the waste, I do process. I started processing. I went all into seasoning, pepper sauce, jams, jellies, lime balls, out of agriculture products. Tulum, just name it, Cheryl make it.
And I love it.
I enjoy doing it. For the love, I enjoy it. I call all these my friends. I call these are my friends.
That's beautiful. So, and how easy it is for people to pick up these things?
Well, at present, I mostly do orders. You can pick up like the starch cake, the farine by Miss Jean's Delight at Scarborough Market. Yes.
And that's where all your products are.
Yes, and you can call Cheryl at 274-0873, and you can place an order for whatever you wish. I am here trying to help as much as I can, but I will have to be thinking of doing it in another way to make things easier.
Right, of course, we're all about innovation these days, and trying to get around the challenges, because of course nothing in life is without its challenges. So, I mean, I just want to thank you so much, Miss Cheryl. You're such a beautiful person, and for showing us, taking us into your home and showing us what it's like to make cassava flour. And folks, you can try, right? Even if you don't have a hydrator,
you can use the solar, the sun, and dry your stuff. And you use your blender and you blend your stuff, or you have a mill, you know, and you make your flour dough. Go mount up the price. People selling cassava flour for like £1/4 for $40. No, come on, help ourselves. We are here to help ourselves and not to just spend the dollars.
Great.
Help ourselves, teach our children, hand down things where they can be able to learn to help themselves.
Right.
And I love that.
Words of inspiration. I'm very, very, very inspired by you. But I just want to thank you again for allowing us into your home. It has been such a pleasure to be here. And the smell of the cassava bread, it was the first thing I noticed when I walked into her home, the smell of the cassava bread, and I kept commenting on how wonderful it smells inside of here, and hopefully I'll get to taste afterwards. But that's it from me, Candice Jackson in Concordia, and now we are going to go straight to this day in Tobago history. Take it away, Devon.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards.
Welcome to Tobago Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
as remains. When
the public is
nobody lives here.
Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides Marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still
at the
treasures like the golden
continue
waterfall
to rise in Tobago. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on January 24th, 2008, the country's youngest Chief Justice was sworn into office? According to ttlawcourt.org, 14 years ago today, Justice Ivor Archie became the nation's 8th Chief Justice and created history, not only because he was the youngest, but... And welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This is our Good Stuff segment. And in our Good Stuff this morning, we say meet Mr. Gavin Percy, driver, conductor attached to our Tobago depot since 2004. I enjoy getting to work on time and look forward to greeting passengers as they come into the bus as well as when they exit. My greatest pleasure is taking them safely to their destination. Mr. Percy enjoys operating the Charlottesville service and shared that his motivation to become a driver stemmed from his passion to operate big vehicles. It has always been a dream of mine to become a driver, and I love doing my job each and every day. He leaves this advice: do your best at all times, even when no one is watching. And that's all good stuff. So congratulations going out to you this morning, Mr. Gavin Percy. I just want to add here, a man of integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing when even no one is watching you. So congratulations going out to you there, Mr. Gavin Percy. Well, viewers, we're going to switch gears a little bit at this time. Coming up at this point, we are chatting with Shanaria Taylor. Shanaria is the managing director of Renlim Entertainment. And this morning, viewers, we are talking about charity and brunchorama. Good morning to you, Shanaria.
Good morning to you, Ria.
It's good to have you on the program again. Are you okay? You're squinting.
I'm squinting because I don't see well. I think it's just a hard part of life. I don't see, and I should wear my glasses. I don't, and that's why I squint.
Okay, that's a Jessie Taylor in you coming out there. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. So, Shanaria, you've been on the program with us just a few times, and you've spoken a lot about Renlim Entertainment. Just remind our viewers very quickly here of what Renlim Entertainment is all about.
Renlim Entertainment is a platform that endorses and markets Caribbean culture through entertainment.
All right. And how long ago did it start?
In 2016.
2016. Okay, good. Nice. So we're talking about 5 or so years
Yeah,
now.
we turned 5 last year.
Okay, good. All right, so tell us about this charity and Brunchorama.
Okay, so the Renlim Tobago Charter for Charity is a department in the Renlim brand, and we focus on giving back to Tobago. So we host events that in return bring profits to give back to Tobago. So yesterday we would have actually had our spiritual distribution service, which is a blessing of like toys, school books, reading supplies, groceries, hampers, and we did distributions to members of the Tobago public at my church, which is the St. Anthony's Spiritual Baptist Church.
Question, why now, why not, you know, this type of activity is usually centered around Christmas time.
Right.
Why January and not
So what
December?
happened actually is very funny. We shipped this stuff from the US in November, and we should have gotten them to do a Christmas charity drive in December.
Right.
Nothing arrived until January, and it's ironic because normally, well, in December we do a Christmas charity drive, so we give out toys. Something happened this year, and it was really at the advice of my daddy, Jesse. He kind of guided me towards grocery and school books and reading supplies and stuff like that.
Keeping with the time that we live in.
We were living it, exactly, and nothing came for Christmas. So when we did it in January, it was even better suited. So we ended up doing food supplies, hampers. It was a really good experience.
And what were some of the reviews? What did some of the people say? Because I'm thinking here, no, we often say in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, January is a hard month. It's a month. It's that month where money is limited,
tight, yeah,
and you know groceries are limited and stuff. So what did they have to say?
Well, when we were going to do it in December and we were catering to kids, the group, the people that we were going to give was different. So in January we had to revamp the people that we gave it to adjust to what we had, and we had to also purchase a couple more things to kind of really make the hampers something worthwhile. So what we ended up doing was we invited some of the families from our December batch, and we invited people from the village, people that go to the church, word of mouth. We asked on social media if anybody needed help and invited them to the church to be a part of the experience. So everybody was really happy. The service was very lively and energetic, and what ended up happening is that the table was an open table. So instead of giving people a hamper, well, some families got direct hampers that were built for them, but the table was open. Kids were allowed to go up and select the book that they want, select the toy that they want. Family members could have selected from a wide array of groceries and whatever you think you needed for the home, instead of just giving people blindly. So they were incredibly grateful and very happy.
I love the idea, and I think it's something that, you know, we can pattern. Definitely pattern, and my church usually does something like this on Holy Year's night. This looks like a very happy camper there. It looks like a very happy camper.
Yes.
And this is the presentation of one of the
hampers, yeah.
This is beautiful. Oh, that's you.
Yes.
I just recognized you. I just recognized you.
This is one of the families that actually came to the distribution to collect it themselves, and they stayed for the entire service. Some of the families just took the hamper, but this family stayed the entire service all the way to the end.
And I'm sure that they enjoyed every moment of it.
Yeah. We actually have coming up right now is Brunchorama, which is February 19th. It's a charity food fair that we started last year, and it's really just a harvest. It's the same food and services that we're accustomed to, but instead of just getting a box and go, we have prepared, we are working with a safe zone, which is the Lowlands Pub House on the mall. So we have now separated the space and opened everything so that people could sit down and actually benefit from the opportunity of socialization and outside and interacting whilst enjoying their food.
Okay.
So we found the perfect way to merge COVID protocols in this pandemic to provide a perfect carnival opportunity and fundraising.
So it's a carnival activity.
It is under the Renlival initiative, which is Renlim Carnival. So all of the events that we do, typically Renlival for us would mean Fete, Trinidad, Yuma, you know, everything. But this year we don't have that opportunity. And last year we didn't have it either. So what we decided to do, actually Renlim starts the 2022 Carnival Year of Fete in February. And that takes us through a myriad of countries and states and places in the US and in Europe and around the Caribbean. And I started thinking, I'm home right now. What's going on in Trinidad and Tobago? What can I do? And I realized I could find a way to merge charity and culture and entertainment and experiences. So it's a cultural platform as well, because we have some of Tobago's best and brightest performing. I won't say who yet, but we have artists in Trinidad that are donating their time in support of the charity, and it's all covered into a very small, intimate social gathering, but of 100% safe COVID protocol nature, and that's what's perfect about it.
You're just talking about this and you are super excited.
I am so excited.
Almost as though you're there already.
Because I was there last year and the experience was very fun last year. It was smaller, but it still did the job, because last year we had about 30 people.
How many are you catering for this year?
Well, the aim, the space holds 250, so we're trying to do 100. But I'm not sure how it will go, because, you know, it's a pandemic. People are spending differently. But I am encouraging everyone to come out. It'll be a unique experience. The menu is off the charts.
What would the cost cover?
Oh, okay, so when you pay for a ticket, the ticket gets you entry. You get 5 stations of food, and you select from, we have chicken and waffles, seafood crepes, everything that you would think of, jira neck, corn soup. It's endless supplies of food and the entertainment experience. So a patron is allowed to purchase food and leave, or purchase food and stay and dine. It's completely up to you. You just state when you book your ticket, what's your preference, if you're coming to the activity or if you're taking your food to go or curbside pickup. The only difference is each person has to be fully vaccinated as per COVID protocols for safe zones.
Okay, you need to say that one more time.
Each person has to be fully vaccinated as per COVID protocols for safe zones. It's not I would love if every person could benefit from the experience, but, you know, the time that we're living in, it has to be 100% fully vaccinated.
Okay. And I know there's some out there who are saying, but what about the unvaxxed? And that's the choice that you are making. So you've got to, I don't want to say suffer, but you've got to abide by, you know, the choice that you're
making. It's just the time that we're living in. But I'm really happy. I hope Tobagonians really come out. The ticket sales are actually going well. We only have like 6 more of the VIP tickets because we separated because of space.
So we have VIP, which covers?
A VIP covers the same benefits of the event. They just have an exclusive seating because we had to separate because of COVID protocols. They have a private server, again, COVID protocols, and additionally, they receive personalized cocktails for themselves. So they receive one from our sponsor, which is Punchy Punch, and then they receive one from us, which is Renlim Cocktails. So because they are a little further away, we give them their own personal COVID-sized bottles. Everything that we're doing, even what we're serving the food in and what we're going to be giving you your drinks in, as you come in, you get your personal bottle. So that bottle takes you through, so nothing is open to the air, nothing along that lines. You just fully safe.
Okay. And what's the cost of the tickets? And how
so general is 200 and VIP is 260. And it's actually a link on Eventbrite. We're using e-ticketing because we're hoping to take Tobago into this new atmosphere of events.
Paperless.
Yes, very much no contact. So you easily just go to Eventbrite. You have the option to pay online if you have a credit card, or you could make payments through online transfer. You can make payments through deposits.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Shanaria. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Always a pleasure having you on the program.
Being here.
That's right. All right, so viewers, we want to thank you. We are coming back just after you share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. In keeping with our protocols here, when you are off this set, you gotta have on your mask. We want to welcome you back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you live from the Port Morgue in Scarborough. And this morning, as we are in this final segment, I want to send out birthday greetings, birthday blessings to Mrs. Ingrid Martin of Roxborough. That's Miss Ingrid Martin of Roxborough, and that's coming from Carol Fraser Davidson this morning.
All right. And I'm Carol Fraser Davidson. Good morning to you. All the way from Speyside. Well, Speyside in the house. Good morning to Speyside. Charlottesville, good morning to you. Delaford, a special good morning. Roxborough, good morning to you. And I can't forget the West End, okay? So Crown Point, good morning. Canaan, Bonaccord, good morning. Signal Hill, Patience Hill, good morning to you. Yeah, Julian?
Yes. So that shout out this morning coming from Carol Fraser Davidson to Miss Ingrid Martin of Roxborough. So we know that Miss Ingrid Martin should be tuned in as well to our Tobago Updates morning show. And we want to say enjoy your day today. Enjoy the celebrations.
All right. And we want to remind our viewers of what, or let them know rather, not remind, because they're finding out for the first time at this point, but what's coming up on the program tomorrow, just as we are wrapping up. So it's not Friday, but we're outside tomorrow.
We're outside. Is it that we want to give them a little sneak peek?
I think we should.
We are heading into one of those outstanding spaces that we ought to be very proud of as, you know, Tobagonians here in terms of moving our legislative history forward. So we're going to be on the outside tomorrow. And my understanding is that tomorrow we'll be having breakfast with the presiding officer. So we look forward to tomorrow's segment, Rhea, breakfast with the presiding officer.
Definitely. And we are certainly looking forward to it. And I think we're also going to have an opportunity to tour the legislature, which is something that has never been done before. And we're really hoping, Julian, to connect with formers.
You never know. We're hoping that we might have a sneak peek, tomorrow with perhaps a former, someone who has sat in the chair previously. But we'll see how that goes, folks. But tomorrow morning, we will be having breakfast with the presiding officer as we speak to matters related to the Assembly legislature and, discussions with her and her staff regarding projections and plans as we go forward for this new term in office.
All right, and a quick birthday greeting going out to Janice Tony, celebrating her birthday today. So love going out to you this morning, Janice Tony. Have a really great day. And I think we can just leave it there for now. And
we have our background.
One more. Our background
this morning. And that's Fort King George. Beautiful, Rhea.
And it's an angle that many of us have never seen.
Again.
Seen that.
And this is Kerry Walcott again. Excellent. Well done. In terms of continuing to capture those spaces and places. In fact, I'm from the Scarborough area, and I recall just slightly off of there using the palm leaves that we used to play with to slide down that hill. Slide down that hill in those times, and that was real fun for us.
Wow. Well, Julian, my experiences would be a little bit different. I had many a date there with Oswald George. So I'm gonna leave it there. Many a date.
I might have just been sliding by as a child.
But I'm going to leave it right there.
Clearly, Kerry Walcott, this space brings back a lot of memories for Rhea. And I want to suspect quite naturally as well, it also connects with the hospital. Rhea spoke sometime about delivering 3. So you see, Fort King George has a lot of memories.
I'm going to leave it there, viewers. I think this is an excellent note to wrap things up on. So have a great day. Have a great day, viewers. Stay safe on the roads. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.